with software, usually people get lost, and it's normal. And so we always try to make things easier and more intuitive because I don't know exactly how others see it, but I see that when someone builds a platform, the start for everyone is pretty much the same. But then creativity kicks in. Person, you get an idea, you say, okay, I want to try something new.
Welcome to the My Future Business Show, where we get you in front of your best audience and keep you there. Not only are we interviewing the biggest names in business to help you become even more successful, we're inviting you to book your spot on the show to help you grow your business. So at the end of the call, make sure you fill in the interview application form at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. Hi, and welcome back to the My Future Business Show. My name is Rick Nusky, and it's been a little while since the last time we spoke and had an episode go live. On today's show, I have with me Robert RUSU. How are you, Robert?
Hey, I'm great.
Yeah, thank
Nice to
you.
be here.
Yeah, thank you very much for spending some time with me. I was just mentioning, Robert, that since the last time the show had gone to air, we've moved servers based on Corrado Izzo's advice to move over to better hosting, and that led one thing led to another, and I decided, it might be a really good thing to share what you're doing with Corrado at eLearn Commerce and codeiscode.com. But before we jump into the guts of the call, love to learn a little bit about yourself, Robert. I've been checking out your Facebook profile. Obviously, you've got a great social life, but I know also that you're very, very busy as a PHP developer. So, share a little bit about yourself with the My Future Business audience.
Yeah, so I started programming when I was 15, right? When I
Yep.
was 15, I started working with my school teacher, and I was coding competitive, like you make programs that need to run fast.
Yep.
But that gets very boring because you just make a code and then you never see it again. And it wasn't really fun, so I wanted to build stuff. So I got into web development, and I've made um, e-learning platforms. First time when I was 17. So I made the first platform in Romania that had gamification back in 2012. There
Mm-hmm.
was no platforms in Romania with gamification, for example, from scratch. And anytime I had to build a new platform, I constantly had to uh, build it fresh. Back in 2012, uh, like Moodle was the only known LMS, and it was very complicated and it had too many features.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that you could use. And then in 2016, 2015, I've talked to Corrado because he needed some adjustment because he just made a plugin. He hired me like a freelancer, and after 2, 3 jobs, we met and we talked, and I really liked what he was doing, and I said, let's build something great together. This was my dream. I want to build the best software in the world
Yeah, well,
for
look,
learning.
I can tell you right now, everybody who's on the call, I actually own and use daily the eLearn commerce platform. And, I won't shout to the hills about any particular software just because it's software. It has to actually work, it has to actually deliver solutions, it has to be easy for me to use. And I suspect, Robert, that has to be the case for most users, doesn't it?
Yes, yes, that is very, very important. Like mm, one fallacy, I don't get a bit of word right now, but one fallacy is uh, people don't think when, like developers in general, don't think that this needs to be used by a normal person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because usually if you're a great developer, you think in narrow steps, right?
Yep.
But it's a great technique, and it usually works when you want to, even when you want to build a course, but it's not something that you can intuitively do with everything, right? When you, uh, I don't know, like when you eat a pizza,
Mm-hmm.
you ask someone, how do you eat the pizza? Uh, and
One bite at a
it's,
time.
yeah, one bite at a time, exactly. You need to cut it. Is it cut? Like, how many slices are there? How was it sliced? Is it a big slice? Do I have a fork? Do I have a... So it's many, many decisions
Mm.
that need to happen. So even with software, usually people get lost, and it's normal. And so we always try to make things easier and more intuitive, because um, I don't know exactly uh, how others see it, but I see that when someone builds a platform,
Mm-hmm.
the start for everyone is pretty much the same. But then creativity kicks in, right?
Yeah.
Rick, like yourself, you are a creative person. You get
Yeah.
an idea, you say, okay, I want to try something new, and then all this path we made just splits in millions of other options, right?
Goes everywhere.
So we need, yeah, we need to make sure that everyone, when they want to combine this and that and that and that, needs to work, or they want to put another plugin, or they want to put another thing. So we constantly have to make sure, okay, is this possible?
Mm-hmm.
We don't like, neither me or Corrado like to say, no, you cannot do that. You know, we
Yeah.
like want to make sure that everyone can just go crazy, and let's see what you come up with.
Yeah, I listen to everything that you guys share on your weekly and monthly calls that you do with your community, which I value greatly, might I add, Robert. I think to myself, because what is it, 35% of the world's population who use the internet and have a web presence choose WordPress. There must be some very good reasons for that. Can you share a little bit about why this is the chosen platform for eLearn commerce?
So yeah, I worked in a corporation for 3 months. I couldn't handle it anymore, but um, and it was really good. But the reason why I love WordPress, and I think everyone has a reason similarly,
Mm-hmm.
is because of the freedom, right? The data is not owned by someone else. It's yours. If
Yeah.
it's on your hosting account, at any given time, you can just go buy a computer, you can buy a Mac, the Mac box,
Yep.
the box,
Yep.
and you can install it as a server. You plug in an internet cable, maybe you get another internet connection, because that's the recommended thing to have two connections, and you have your own server and nobody can turn it off. As long as you have internet and electricity,
Mm-hmm.
it's your server, it's there. Nobody can take your data. Nobody can, I don't get the word.
To manipulate you, or yeah.
Yeah, silence you, or say that you need to close it. Because when you're on a SaaS platform, it's not about someone convincing you to take it off. It's rather someone convincing the platform owner. For example, on Facebook, if let's say you piss off government, right? That's not very usual. Piss off a government, right? They just go to Facebook and they say, I want you to close this page, and they can just close it like this, and
Yeah,
everything is lost for a group.
absolutely.
But when you have your own platform, this cannot happen. Plus, you can make the backups, and you can anytime come back. It's beautiful, because I think everyone should have the right to build their own thing and not be silenced, because everyone has an audience,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't agree necessarily with a lot of the stuff that people do, and now I won't give examples. Let's just say they're not ethical things, like
Yeah, whatever.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but ideally, uh, we're idealists, and we just want to, give people the option to build great platforms if they want to,
mm-hmm.
and be in control of them. And anytime, if someone outgrows our software, they can just extend it, and they can just even customize it.
Yeah,
When you're going with the SaaS, you cannot do that. Like, you're always limited by them. If they don't add a feature, you don't have it. With
yeah.
us, if we don't add it, but we will at one point. Uh, you can just hire a developer and he can just make it happen.
do
You're
you
not
do
you're
you,
not limited.
I often think about the things that go on behind the scenes, Robert. Clearly, you have had a great deal of an educational curve, a learning curve. For those who are looking at this platform, and this is the whole point of the call tonight, Robert, is to share with the My Future Business audience why this particular e-learning commerce platform is above and beyond all others. Now, I know why that is, and I know that you know why that is, but I was wondering if we can share some of the main features of the eLearn commerce platform that really stand out as winning components for you?
Yeah, so the winning thing is flexibility. It's
Yep.
very flexible. And what the goal is with this flexibility is to allow our customers to do stuff we never thought of. Something great happened in 2017. We made the possibility to embed courses in courses, so you could take a course type and you could put it in another course type. So, and we also made courses to be set to read-only. And we have this course called One-Off, which it's just a video, and then you have a video index. And someone built a site with for Amazon selling. They sold a few $1 million. They didn't even use a membership plugin. They just use our native functionality to make internal
Yeah,
training sites.
I did see this one.
Yeah, and they had a lot of webinars. So they built instead of building just a standard execution plan or a standard one-off, they built custom pages. So they had in total like 10 courses, 10 webinars. So they built a one-off course to put the 2-hour video, and then they made the indexing map for the whole video, and then they put an execution plan with all the steps that you needed to execute in the video and some small instructions in each section. So students had a really great experience by this because they could just watch the video and just go back to any point and then just execute on the execution plan.
Yeah.
And this when we built it, I didn't think about this use case, and they just came up with it, and I said, "This is great, right?"
Yep. And you could probably get a great deal of you probably do get a great deal of feedback from everybody in the community, and you probably got a lot that's going on in the background that you're about to release too. So what I'd love to talk a little bit about your recent release with just little things like search functionality to make it even simpler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing. I started mucking around with it yesterday. I was just blown away.
Yeah, that's actually a very complex feature. I don't know if you're aware of it, but almost no WordPress plugin has something like this.
No.
Because you need to, everything changes when you build something like this, because you need to store every option in a certain way, and you need to, it also, we have the plugin translated in German. So there is German translation. And the search, we wanted to make sure that if you're using it on a German site, you can actually search the German option name, right? Yeah. And we wanted to make sure that all these performance things are taken care of. So we had to build a caching system. And the way we build this feature is actually very funny. And this is the way we build a lot of features. So we have to build something for 1.13 that's coming next year. And then we needed this caching system. And we needed a caching system that we can test. The search feature was in our backlog from 2018. And I already started taking notes, like at the start in February 2018. And then I said, okay, this is a great opportunity to make it because I need to build a caching system. A search feature needs a caching system for the performance. So I can make my caching system that I need for this next step, build a search feature, and also put it out, right?
Yep.
It's usually when we make a feature, we think, okay, what other features get involved in this one, or what's needed to put everything. And it's very cool because if you, for example, put a sales engine and you need to configure Stripe, you don't need to click sales engine, payment settings, and then go to Stripe. You can just write Stripe, and it finds all the options for Stripe. Everything.
Yeah, I know this. It's amazing.
Yeah, it searches in the label, like the name. It searches the description, and it also has the translation working. So it finds anything. It's right now it's match based, but in the future, because this is very complicated in WordPress. We might even make it percentage based. So, for example, if you have the, I don't know, let's take the random word, coffee, right? And you search for coffee, and there are 5 options that are called coffee. but you write cafe, right?
Yep.
You put A instead of O. It will still find the coffee options because it's a 80% match or 75% match.
Yep. Yep.
So that's something we want to do in the future, where if you do a small spelling mistake, it still finds everything, or at least it suggests that for this word, right, there are N results, and make it more predictive.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I sit here and I get so excited because the My Future Business audience are startup entrepreneurs, small to medium sized existing business owners, and my passion is talking with people like yourself about this type of technology. And one of the things about the show, Robert, is to bring as much value and educate our audience as much as possible in the short amount of time that we have together. I'd love to talk a little bit about how third-party APIs, webhooks, and the likes work with the eLearn Commerce platform. In particular, I'd like to share a little bit about my experience with the Thrive Cart integration auto login feature. That is absolutely amazing. Could you share a little bit about how that works so people understand just how powerful this is?
yeah, so I see it as a simple option, but that's how everything great seems, right? It's so simple it blows you out.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
with Stripe card, when you buy, you get this email and you have the invoice, you can customize it. But in essence, there is a button that's called Access My Purchase, right?
Yep.
And they offer this great functionality that you can connect with, and they give you data. And when you click on that button, we go on a link, and using the parameters that they offer, we can make a very secure auto login and automatic account creation. We've put a lot of thought into that feature to make sure it's fine, because it's also connected to the payment. So when you buy something in Thrivecart, a webhook will hit your server when it's properly configured, which is usually the case, and it will create an account and it will give access to a specific product. Now, maybe this webhook is delayed, or maybe something happens. So what we made is, when you click the auto login link, it doesn't matter if you have an account or not. Maybe the webhook didn't trigger yet.
Yeah.
So it works no matter which one hits first, or maybe you already had an account. We still make the account, and in the background, in the webhook, we shortly check if no, sorry. In the auto login, we shortly check, okay, did the webhook happen? And if the webhook didn't happen, we still do the whole flow, but the page refresh will hit immediately. And if by then the webhook didn't hit, there's most likely some server error. But we had I know 10 to 20 sites that I personally engaged with the people that built it, and nobody had any complaints about it. So the system has a small leak, a small exception, right? But it's like 0.01% when the webhook is very slow.
Well,
This is very, very rare.
it's very rare. I mean, because it was absolutely seamless for me. And if anybody goes to the docs.elearncommerce.com, you will find a comprehensive list of, I guess, walkthrough instructions on how to set those types of things up. If somebody like me can do it, I'm pretty sure most people can do it. Now, I'm just wondering, when I go through the website and I see what are there's the standard video format, course format, you have the execution plan, you have the one-off. What other ones are there? Can you share a little bit about that?
So there, I'll just, I have them in my mind ordered mentally. We have execution plan unfolded, learn map, standard, video course type, one-off, and challenge. And it's like 7. And it's all about flexibility. When you want to use the standard course, you're just building a standard platform. It's just very simple. You go on the lesson and you have a sidebar on the right or on the left. You can control it however you want, because eLearn Commerce is RTL compatible. Right? So if you're, for example, using Hebrew or other languages that need RTL, when we built it, we tested it with Hebrew. Also, it works with Chinese, like it works with any language.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so
See,
that's
this is the thing. When I just what I was going to talk about before with this auto login feature, Robert, was this ability for me to no longer require a third party membership script as well because of the wonderful sales engine
yeah,
option. Can you talk a little bit about
yes.
that for us?
So the sales engine had one goal: make it stupid simple to sell memberships. I thought that all these membership plugins complicate everything so
Oh,
much
don't they just?
that it's not worth it, you know. So I just in the first iteration of the sales engine, I actually had it written, and then I just deleted everything because I said this seems too complicated,
Mm-hmm.
and then I simplified again. And since we actually had the first release, we changed it to quite a bunch because it started to evolve into something totally different. At the start, it was just uh, point and click in 30 seconds. You just put your email address and a price and a currency, and you can sell any course in 30 seconds. And it worked.
Yep.
And then it started to evolve. We added Stripe, we added Braintree, and then we started adding this cart integrations because we have Thrive cards,
Mm-hmm.
SAM card, and Pay Kickstart. These are the customers that use each of these are very different. And also Sandal now. Uh, only Thrive card has the auto login because the others don't permit it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very marketer oriented platform, Thrive card, same as SAM card. I won't go into detail why
No.
one is better than the other because at the end of the day, it's all about personal preference, and each of them has its own very strong points and weak points, and it's all about what do you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no magic answer in here.
No,
Like
there's no right or
all
wrong.
four are great.
It's a user
Yeah.
case situation. I am in my
Yes.
particular learning management system platform. I actually have the learner profile as well, which essentially acts as my membership landing page, which is just configured like we were just talking about through the sales engine, Thrivecard as the payment gateway, and then automatically you see this header that I've put in. You can customize it to look however you want. Then you can prompt people to, I guess, invest further, your customers, your students, to invest further in other programs that you might have. And it actually to the right shows them all of their available course content. It's just such a wonderful, seamless experience. Now, Robert, what's coming up for you and Corrado in the near future? Are you still doing your monthly calls? How's it all going in the background for you guys?
It's been a crazy year. Let's just call it that. When we started this when I joined with Corrado in 2015, I actually started in 2016 because I rebuilt the plugin almost from scratch, all the
Mm-hmm.
architecture. We had to constantly put stuff. We kept a very close relationship with customers. When we had only a few customers, like uh, a few hundred, it was very easy to just keep in touch with everyone and just send them a Zoom link and just talk with them and see, okay, how is this going? How
Mm,
can we help you with the software? But as we've grown, it starts to be very, very hard because there are many, like
yeah,
there's too
yeah.
many people. In the Facebook group, we have a few hundred people, but not even half. Like I don't know the exact percentage of our customers,
Mm-hmm.
uh, 20%, something like that, only are on Facebook. And in the Facebook, you can see that there's certain activity, but in their background, there's even more activity
Yeah.
than on Facebook. And the calls that we were doing were great, but we were pretty stumped with them, with all the features that we wanted to add, and especially the documentation that we had to reorganize, and we want to do them again, and we will, but
Mm-hmm.
we just uh, want to make sure that people don't get stuck. That was the main goal of the calls, was to bring clarity to anyone that got stuck and make sure that okay, they're happy and that they know what to do and everything is there. But we started to invest, I started to invest more time in the software and Corrado in the documentation and getting in touch with customers. I also
Mm-hmm.
do that.
Yep.
Because one thing we did, and I think is great, in 2017, and we had a pattern, or 16, I don't know exactly, in the tickets. I made a video about it. And 50% of the tickets were about something very simple, which is a WordPress permalink reset. It's actually pretty standard when you work with WordPress for years.
Yeah.
And when you submit a ticket, you need to go to the platform health and take the export out.
Yes, yes.
And there is this panel that has the green, the red, and the blue. And that panel actually looks for the most frequent 25 detectable issues. So when someone comes to us with an issue, we already have this, call it, if we want to use fancy words, we can call it AI, right? But
Yes.
it's not. I don't call it AI. It's not an AI.
It's just basic arithmetic, basically.
Yes. So it checks the most frequent 20, 25 issues. I don't know exactly how many. And maybe there's even more, because it's actually many patterns. So and people just press a button and the issue is solved.
Imagine that.
Yeah, so that was very cool for us, because instantly we're getting no more tickets about permalink resets.
Oh, that's
just when it cannot detect it. And it's actually very cool, because just think about yourself. You write to us, you have an issue, you want to anyone is like that. You want an answer right now, right?
Yep.
Because normally you don't need to get stuck when you just build a course.
Yep.
So the platform health helps us do that, which is ensure consistency. And we want to do it more and more to make sure that if there's an issue, we detect it. We introduced 2 weeks ago, there is this wishlist is a membership plugin, a pretty good one. It's a frequent one. And there's also Thrive Architect, which is one of the most frequent page builders that we see with our customers. There is an issue sometimes with them, with the JavaScript library. So that makes it the select look a bit wrong.
Yes.
So we have something that detects that can happen. The detector doesn't have 100% consistency, unfortunately, at the moment, because it's relatively a new feature. 2 or 4 weeks ago, I cannot remember. Like, timeline in my head is just it's in the past. There's no more. Only if it wasn't done. So it's all about making sure. Sorry, yeah.
No, look, because I actually noticed what you were talking about. If I can just share with everybody my experience with you in particular, Robert. Out of the blue, you sent me a link to have a Zoom call, because I like to be as active as I can inside the Facebook community, whereas almost like a self-serve environment, there are some great interactions there, a little bit of frustration because that just comes with the nature of what we're doing. But all in all, everybody's there either to help each other. But what I noticed is that you reached out to me, and I didn't ask for it. And all of a sudden, it was literally a click of a button that fixed my CSS formatting, and I wouldn't have known it. You know what I mean? So thank you so much for sharing that time with me. I very much appreciate it, as I'm sure most of your customers do. But everybody who's on the call today, this is just a very small snippet of what you can expect from the eLearn Commerce team, Corrado and Robert. Robert, I've had such a wonderful time with you on the show. I will be making sure that the links back to eLearn Commerce are available below this post. Thank you very much for spending some time with me on the My Future Business show today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed the call, then make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, share us with your friends, and book your spot on the show at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. And if you're looking for solutions that will help grow your business, then visit myfuturebusiness.com/shop.